In a world torn apart by flags, gunboats, and greed, one kingdom refused to kneel. From the stormy shores of Africa to the icy coasts of Canada, the flags of Europe flew with terrifying pride. Red for Britain, blue for France, orange for the Dutch. Every inch of land was fair game, every culture ripe for civilization. Colonialism wasn't just a trend, it was the law of history. One by one, nations fell, their kings dethroned, their borders erased, their languages outlawed. And then, in the heart of Southeast Asia, surrounded by collapsing kingdoms and burning temples, a sliver of land did the impossible. They said it couldn't be done. They said no one escapes empire. But Thailand did. And it didn't just survive. It outsmarted the very machine that was built to crush it. This is not a story of chance. This is a story of bloodless rebellion, masterful diplomacy, and a king who played the colonizers at their own game, and won. Let's rewind. In the late 1800s, the global map was bleeding. Vietnam had become a French colony. Burma had been absorbed by the British. Laos, Cambodia, and Malaysia were nothing more than colored pawns in Europe's race to rule the East, and in the middle of it all, Siam, a beautiful kingdom with ornate temples, powerful traditions, and a shrinking zone of safety. It was landlocked by colonial powers like a deer caught between lions. Any wrong move and it would be torn apart. But here's the twist. That danger was its greatest strength. Britain and France, the two juggernauts of the colonial age, were both eyeing Southeast Asia. But they were also eyeing each other. Suspicion ran deep. Neither trusted the other to get too close. If France moved in, Britain might respond with force. If Britain pushed further, France might blockade the seas, and so, in a strange, almost ironic twist of fate, Siam became essential not as a prize to conquer, but as a buffer to keep empires from tearing into one another. That gave the kingdom time, precious, golden time. But time alone doesn't save nations. Actions do. Enter King Mongkut and his revolutionary son King Chulalongkorn Rama V. These weren't just rulers, they were visionaries, and they understood a chilling truth. In the eyes of Europe, power didn't lie in tradition, it lay in progress. If Siam stayed the same, beautiful, ancient, spiritual, it would be colonized and dismantled. So they changed it. Fast, relentlessly, completely. Slavery was abolished, feudal rule was dismantled, laws were rewritten, railroads were laid, ministries were established. Schools began teaching science and math, not just scriptures. Soldiers wore uniforms, bureaucrats filed reports, diplomats were trained in multiple languages. It was a cultural revolution, not to westernize blindly, but to protect what mattered, by appearing modern enough not to need Western interference. And it worked, until it didn't. In 1893, the illusion cracked. France, emboldened by its grip on Indochina, pushed harder. Two French gunboats entered the Chao Phraya River, aiming for the heart of Siam, Bangkok. The Siamese gave warning shots. The French ignored them. The Paknam incident was a disaster. Rain poured, visibility dropped. Siamese gunboats were partly manned by Danish officers who didn't speak the language. Orders were misheard, cannons were delayed. Confusion reigned. The French powered through, guns blazing. Laos was surrendered. The price was paid. But Siam still stood. Instead of collapsing in fear, the kingdom transformed again. More aggressively, the modernization project became a race against time. Chulalongkorn sent his sons, the future kings, to study at Oxford, at Sandhurst. They came back not as colonial sympathizers, but as kings who knew how to beat the empire with its own rules. They rewrote education. They adopted the Gregorian calendar. They restructured military command. Western observers marveled at Siam's civilized system, a loaded term that often preceded invasion, but this time it meant safety. Siam was no longer seen as backward or exotic, It was seen as competent, stable, inconvenient to conquer. And when the First World War broke out, Siam made its boldest move yet. It joined the Allies, voluntarily, declared war on Germany and Austria-Hungary. Thai pilots trained in France, soldiers marched in European mud, and when the blood stopped flowing and the victors met at Versailles, there sat Siam, a sovereign nation at the table, not a colonial possession in the back. No other nation in Southeast Asia had done that, not one. By the time King Rama VI came to power, educated in England and trained in the military arts, Thailand was a different beast, a hybrid of tradition and tactical modernization. The monarchy, too, evolved. A constitutional system replaced absolute rule in 1932, and by 1939 Siam rebranded itself with a new name, Thailand, the land of the free. And it meant it, because Thailand had done what no one else could, not by hiding, not by fighting a hopeless war, but by bending without breaking, by yielding in appearance while guarding its soul. It lost territory, it made compromises, but it kept its dignity, its throne, its flag. Where others were ruled, Thailand ruled itself. Where others were erased, Thailand rewrote the rules. While neighboring countries endured brutal occupations, slavery, genocide, and cultural erasure, Thailand danced between giants and lived to tell the tale, a feat so rare it's almost mythical. But it's not a myth. It's real. It happened. And yet, how many people know this story? How many schools teach the miracle of Thailand's resistance, the cunning, the diplomacy, the modern transformation powered by sheer survival instinct? Hit that like button, subscribe for more insane history stories they don't teach in class,